Hey YouTube, it's Goddess Galaxy, and I'm doing a review for Couples Retreat. I want to thank my new subscribers and thank everyone for watching my reviews. And if you want to, just like, comment, subscribe below if you enjoy my recaps. And this week on Couples Retreat, Apollo and Shireen are reenacting their argument. They're still there, and the part that they're up to is the part where Tony was telling Apollo that if he continues not to listen to Shireen, she was telling him that it won't be long that she'll be with him, and he's like, yeah, I can control the relationship, she ain't going nowhere. And I'm just like, okay, you sound kind of controlling. Okay, Apollo, you being kind of crazy a little bit. And then he said, and I can control her actions for what I do. And she said, now you can't control me, you can control yourself. That's what you can control. And then Tony said, nah, that's not what he meant. He just meant that with his action, if he changes his actions, the relationship will be better and they won't have any issues. That's basically what he meant. He said, basically, she was saying your actions speak louder than your words. And it was like, yeah. So the next couple that went to do the exercise is Fallon and Jalen. So they're reenacting the part about Fallon wanting more intimacy, more sex in their relationship, and how Jalen be like turning her down, not really wanting it. And then she's like, basically he was saying he was being her, so he was like all up on her neck and stuff, all up on her, grabbing and pushing on her and pulling on her. And then she was him, and she was like, oh, get off of me, I don't want to do it now because you be trying to tell me what to do and trying to act like you run me. No, I'm not interested right now. I just came back in. Nah, I can't do that. I'm like, what? And then I guess they reenacted early in the morning. He said, I'm not interested in doing it with you. You've been making me mad. And also, I don't want to have none of your morning breath. Smell your morning breath in the morning. I'm just like, what the hell? That's kind of messed up. Because you had a whole baby with her. You're going to deal with someone's morning breath when you're in a relationship with them. You had a whole child. You lived with them. Like, what? I was like, okay, that was funny. Then Jack and Kendra were next, and they relived finding out he had a woman pregnant and how it went. So basically, Kendra was Jack, and Jack was Kendra. He was so funny. He had his hand on his hips. Jack was like, Jaceel, what is it? Jaceel. I said, done. And then she was like, I just got something to tell you. She was actually, it was funny. Their reenactment was the funniest one, yo. They had me crying. His reenactment and Tyreek and Tiana's reenactment was the funniest ones. Had me crying. So then it's like Jock was being so stupid. He was like, Jaceel, what is it? Let me know what's happening. He's like, I just got something to tell you. I'm sorry, but I got another. What? Jaceel, what? I'm dead. He's talking about, you lucky we in the house of the Lord because the Lord saved you, Jaceel, okay? Then she got on her knees being young Jock or whatever. And then he said, I didn't do that. She said, and then Kendra like, really? And he's like, yeah, I did. It was so funny. And they both started laughing. So it seemed like they got through it, basically. And they dealt with how they felt. And then she said, basically, Kendra was like, I don't have to hold on to the anger. I could let it go because she was laughing. So, and then next thing you see in the confession, Shamari being mad because Ronnie's not there. But my whole thing is Ronnie's not there to make money for your family because he has a signed contract and obligation to do these dates to perform with New Edition. And what happened, he can't just renege on them because he's on this TV show. Like, he signed this contract before y'all decided to take the show, so I'm gonna need you to calm down. Like, she be kind of being a little bit extra and putting on a little bit. Like, I get you feel like he's not working, but when he's there. He's been there majority of the time. He's missed 2 times. That's it. He missed every single time. She kind of got to understand that he's taking care of family, not like you performing making money. And I know you want to. That's part of something that you really want to do, but you're not doing it. So he's making the money. So you got to be understanding of that. So they had another part of the exercise where they had a target and they throw and say what they're angry about, what their communication, what they want better with their relationship. And then Fat Boy through his part was, he said he talking about she don't listen, and then he missed, and she said, yeah, because that's a lie. I listen to you very well. And then next scene, yeah, because it was boring. I was like, this is boring. Next, AJ met with Apollo one-on-one, and she was basically asking did you talk with Sharon more about what you've been going through like from prison and like how that was. And he said, "No, we haven't had time, really talk about it. And then, me and her, we get into it and we argue a lot, so I haven't had a chance to share." And she's like, "He's not doing the work. Like, he needs to share with his partner, like, what happened so she can help him, Apollo, heal." And that, how he was saying how he was staying strong in prison and how hard it was that he had to get, like, had to go through that, and how hard it was on him, that he had to stay strong in order to survive and things like that. But my whole thing that I didn't like about what AJ was saying to Apollo was, let your partner help you heal. She doesn't have to help him heal. He should have done that before he even got with her. He should have did some spiritual work, which is do some self-healing, like writing in his journal and writing about how he felt, since it seems like he doesn't want to talk about it. He could just journal and talk about it, and that way he can get out how he feels and the anger that he feels, and then he could read from his journal and read it to her so that she gets an understanding. He has it written down so that he can really go through it and really understand where he's coming from. He could do some shadow work. That's shadow work. That's how you shadow work. And then you use some chakra works and different colors to heal himself, and use stones and crystals to help heal himself so he can heal from that pain, because what he's been through with the prison thing is something that happened like 5 years ago and is still kind of like affecting his relationship with his new wife. So it's like he needs to work on that. But my whole thing is it's not for Sharon to heal him. He needs to do that on his own. Like, that's not her job. I'm sorry. He needs to have done that before he got with her. And that's the thing that I always notice with males. Males never work on themselves. A lot of them don't go to therapists. A lot of them don't do shadow work. A lot of them don't heal themselves from past issues. And they just hold on to past issues and expect a woman to continue to deal with their controlling behavior and them telling them what to do and being completely controlling when there's something that's causing them to be controlling. And that's partly because he was in prison and he didn't have control over his life. So because he didn't have control over his life, now he's trying to control his wife. And he has to get over that. And then he was talking also about how he hurt that he left his sons, and how his son mentioned that it was, basically he said it was hard on him to leave them. And he doesn't open up and doesn't want to relive it. That's why he doesn't open up. And that he needs to kind of work on, AJ was telling me he needs to kind of work on, like not telling his wife what to do and allowing her to have a discussion with him and basically be herself in their situation. He can't keep trying to control what's happening, because he can't control her. That's like up to her whether she wants to deal with it or not. All right, and then from there, the next scene is they go to the gym, because when he was talking with AJ, he was talking about how they used to go to the gym, but he became too controlling and his workouts became too like intense for Sharon, so she stopped working out with him and decided to do it on her own because she just felt like it was just too much going on. So he decides that he's going to ask her to the gym. So next scene, Apollo and Sharon basically go to the gym, and he actually invited Kendra and Jock, but didn't let her know that. So while they're talking, like Sharon is just basically telling him how she didn't want to come to the gym with him, but she decided to give it a second chance because they're here and she wanted to work on it. So he basically has to be more patient, and to be that he's too controlling, he needs to like kind of calm down on that. And then they were basically talking to Kendra about how she doesn't know about whether she's going to have another child with him or not, but she's thinking about it in maybe the next 3 or 4 years. Which is like, baby girl, you want to have a 10th child with him? I would not have no baby if he had that many kids. That's just too much. And then Apollo was talking about how Aiden said that he felt abandoned, like that he had abandoned them when he went to prison, and that he was upset with him when he got out. Like, he decided to like go to all his football games and show support, to show his son like he loves him, how he's gonna be there for him, and what having it kind of, his son said how our relationship is better now. So that was kind of good, and Sharon was kind of happy because he was actually sharing something that she never knew. And she felt really good about it, and that she's going to continue to work on things with him because everything is working out so well for them. Next scene is that basically AJ heard from Tony that they were having a good time, and during their exercise they were laughing and enjoying each other's company, and so she's going to test testing their sense of humor. So see if they can withstand being roasted. So first thing Tony Rock going to say is that he called Tony Chris Paul and said that he looked like he was Chris Paul. I said, really, Tony Rock? He's a damn fool. He kind of do look a little bit like Chris Paul, though. So then he started messing with Jalen and Fallon. So he's like, oh, welcome, Jalen and Stella. I said, what the world? And she got so upset, and she was just looking at him. She said, I ain't no effing Stella. So you just gonna curse? We on national TV and everything. You just gonna curse at me? Okay. But Miss Stella got her groove back with this young boy or whatever. She got so offended, and I didn't understand why she got offended, because for me, I'd have been like, thank you, I am Stella, and I got my groove back. Do you see him? He happy with me too. Thank you. I wouldn't have got mad. Like, being called Stella is not the worst he could have said about her. He could have brought up her husband Simon, her ex-husband, and brought that information up and about Portia. All he called her was Stella because the boy is in his early 20s and you're like in your late 30s, almost in your 40s. So that's why he said Stella. He was trying to be funny. Like, girl, why are you getting offended by that? That he could have said words about you, girl. Bye. She left out and she was like all crying, and then Jalen's like, what's wrong, baby? Talk to me. And she just like, it just hurts me, when people say that, the perception people have of me, it just hurts me. Like, why would you say that? And I don't understand why people keep saying these things about me. I just can't deal with it. She all crying, and Jalen's like, baby, and and especially like, it didn't bother me, him saying that, him calling her Stella wasn't a big deal, but he didn't say nothing negative about you, so of course you don't feel no type of way. But then I understand where he come from too, because she should have took that slug, because people said worse things about her than that. Like with the whole Simon and Portia thing, they said way worse things about you, girl. You need to get a little bit more, you need to chill. Then they went to Breezy and Chris, and then he said, y'all the most successful and y'all gonna work out. And I'm just like, I don't understand why they still have Breezy and Chris on this show, because she could work on finding her voice a different way. They both were supposed to need something to work on in their relationship. They don't need anything, really. So I'm not understanding why they're on the show, why they didn't put a different couple on. Because no offense, Breezy and Chris to me are boring. Like, I don't know why they're on the show. Like, they need to go. They need to switch them out and put somebody else. Or next season, they need to stop putting people on here that don't need help. Because the whole point of Couples Retreat is to work on relationship issues and to work on bettering their relationship to make it better. Like, all this stuff that they're doing is kind of boring to me. Then Tony was talking about how Jack, like, she needed to have baby number 10 or whatever, so that he can play at full court. Because he's saying he make a basketball team worth of babies. I'm done right here, because he close. Might as well. 10 babies? Like, really, Jack? You done had a lot of children, honey. The next fat boy and Tiana, he was talking about his gambling or whatever, and that she should punish him by, if he do good or whatever, that she'll hold it from him and use it like the gambling as like a whole thing of that. Once he behaves himself, she could double down on the D and give him some or something. I'm like, what the hell? Tony Rock is a fool. I can't with him. And then like they saw her crying and everybody came out. Rodney came towards the end and he was late already because I forgot what he said, the joke that he said to her about Ronnie or whatever, because she just is not a happy person. Like, this girl is really upset with Ronnie. She just had an attitude. Even while she was at the thing he was roasting, she upset. So she was just upset or whatever. She just let him know, you're missing the exercise, and they needed it, basically. So they left. Then the next scene is the fat boy helped Fallon see that not to take it serious, to be strong and not to let it get to her. Basically, the fact of the tabloids and stuff and what people say about her, not to let everything get the best of her, because it's really not a big deal. Next scene, Ronnie and Shamari go to their room, and she's just still upset. I'm like you mixed the exercise. You left me alone. I felt lonely. I felt like you abandoned me. He said, I didn't abandon you. What are you talking about? I had to go do a job, and I came right back as soon as possible, as fast as I could. I didn't abandon you. What are you talking about? And she said, Ronnie, we missed. I was helping Tony, and I was a host to an exercise that we needed. It's about communication. We really needed that exercise because we have a problem communicating, opening up, and understanding one another, where each other come from. And then Ronnie's like, Ronnie, basically you missed the exercise and we really need it. And she feels like he's like, he didn't abandon her. He said, I was working. They both saying my way or the highway. They both saying that they both feel like it's my way or the highway. Like both of them feel like they each act like they need to get their way, or if it doesn't go their way, then it doesn't go, and it's not fair. Both of them are saying. But for me, it's just like, I just feel like y'all two are too old not to, like, it's like y'all need to communicate better. Like, she's expressing herself, but I just feel like Ronnie don't want to hear or care how she feels, because what she's expressing is a very simple concept. Like, she feels like you're not taking it as serious as she is, and you do have to work, but she just feels like it's not fair to her because she's doing all of this and she's here at the place, and when you go off on your tours, you leave her there, and she's there to do everything by herself, and she just feels alone. That's why she's saying she feels abandoned, because she feels alone. Like, she feels like she's the only one working hard for their relationship, and she doesn't feel like it's fair. Like, how is it fair that you get to just do whatever and go and do this and go and do that, but I have to be here and do all the work? So I get where she's coming from, but I understand what he's saying, how I didn't abandon you, and that you always want things your way, and it just doesn't work like that. And then he's like, I'm tired, like, we don't have to have this section right now. And she said, just go to sleep, whatever, just go to bed. And I'm just like, y'all two need to work on that. They need to speak with AJ, and he needs to stop missing things so they can really work on their relationship, because their communication is really bad. Because I understand where they both come from, but they both not listening to each other. They both just angry, and they both talking, and they want to be heard, but they're not listening, and that's a problem. So just, this show is kind of like, it's like, it's all right. It's not as exciting as like all the other shows I watch. So like, comment, subscribe, and talk to you later, YouTube. Thank you for the new subscription subscribers. Talk to y'all later.